Hello everybody, and welcome back to another mathematics video. In this video we'll be looking at the lovely topic of discount. Now I'm sure many times you visited stores and you look at advertisements and you see them offering discount. So at the end of this video you should be able to calculate the discount on items and also calculate the percentage discount on items. So let's head straight into this video. So first of all, let's look at the normal terms used when dealing with discount. So the first thing is the marked price. Now the marked price would be the original price of an item before discount is applied. So if you go in a store and you see a pair of shoes being sold for $5,000, they said that this is a marked price. And then the store offers a store-wide discount of 20%. Now that 5,000 there that you see on the pair of shoes, that is a marked price. And then the discount would be the amount that you pay after you take off the percentage. In the scenario that I gave just now, the 20% discount, you find 20% of the price that is being offered for the shoe, and that price that you will pay after that money comes off, that would be the discount. And discount percentage would be the percentage at which the discount is being given. And in the same scenario that I stated, the discount percentage would be the 20%. Then last but not least, the selling price. Now the selling price would be the price at which you pay for the item after the discount has been applied. So when you take out the percentage and you find the discount and you subtract it from the marked price, that price that you pay for the item, that is called the selling price. So let's look at some formulas that we use for discount. Now the discount amount would be the discount percentage over 100, because percentage is always out of 100, multiplied by the marked price. That would be the discount amount. And then the selling price would be the marked price subtract the discount amount. So after you find the discount, you subtract it from the marked price, and that will give you the selling price. So to put all of this into practice, let's look at some few examples and exercises. So the first one, an item has a marked price of $80 and a discount of 10%. Find the discount amount and the selling price. So most times questions will just ask you to find the cost of the item after the discount. But for this scenario, I'm asking you to find both the discount and then the selling price. Either way, you'll have to do both. So the first things first, let's find the discount. So we see the discount would be 10%, which is 10 over 100, percentage always out of 100, multiplied by the marked price, which is 80. So we do some cancelling out. This 0 cancels out with that 0. This 0 cancels out with that 0. So the discount would be $8. That would be the discount after you take out the 10%. So that would be the discount after you find the 10%. So the next thing they want us to find is the selling price. So the selling price would be, so in this case, it would be the marked price, which is $80, subtract the discount, which is $8. So when we subtract this, we see the item will cost $72. 80 minus 8 would give us 72. So the selling price for the item after you take out the discount would be $72. And that is as easy as that as to how you find discount. So let's look at another example. So this one says a pair of shoes is marked at $100 and is on sale for 15% discount. Calculate the discount amount and the final selling price. So we do the same thing as what we did just now. So you can probably take a pause of this video and try it out and then compare your answer to my answer. So let's go. So the pair of shoes is marked at $100 and is sold at a 15% discount. So let's calculate the discount amount. So the discount would be, so it's 15%, so it's 15 over 100 multiplied by 100. So this 0 cancels with that 0, this 0 cancels with that 0, so 15 times 1 would give us 15. So we see the pair of shoes will have a discount of $15. So the final selling price would be the $100 for the shoes, the original mark price, subtract the $15. And this would be 100 subtract 15 would give me $85. And that is the final selling price for the pair of shoes. So let's proceed with another example. So this example says, a short is sold at a discounted price of $45. If the marked price was $60, find the discount percentage. So we see in this example, we are given the discounted price. This is the price that will come off. And then they said that if the marked price was $60, find the discount percentage. So we know to find the discounted price of an item is the discounted percentage over 100 multiplied by the marked price, and that will give you the discount percentage. So for this scenario, since we don't know what the percentage discount is, I'll just use a letter or variable to represent that unknown quantity. So in this case, we know the discount percentage, we don't know that, so we just put an X. So it's normally the discount percentage over 100, so I'll put X over 100, multiplied by, just like in the previous examples, we multiply it by the marked price. In this case, the marked price was $60. So multiply by 60, and that would give us the discounted price in this scenario, which is 45. So we see we ended up with a simple equation to solve. So we just solve it from here. So X multiplied by 60 would give me 60X all over 100 is equal to 45. So this 0 cancels out with that 0. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we have 3x over 5 is equal to 45. So we can have 3x is equal to, now this 5 is dividing, so when we take it over it will multiply. So 45 multiplied by 5 would give me 225. And now to find the discounted percent, which is x, because we're using x to represent the discounted percentage, we just take over the 3. So the 3 is multiplying, and we take it over, it will divide. So we'll have x is equal to 225 divided by 3. So the discounted percentage would be, when we divide 225 by 3, we'll end up with 75%. So we can say, therefore, the discounted percentage is 75%. Now we can check to see if our answer is correct. So we know the discount percentage is 75. So to check this, I'm just doing this to check. You don't need to include this in your working, so you can just check to make sure your answer is correct. So we know it to be 75 over 100 multiplied by the marked price, which is 60. So if you multiply, let's do it quick and easy. So if you multiply 75 by 60, that would give you 4,500. And if you divide that by 100, that would give you, this 0 cancel with that 0, this 0, that 0, you'll end up with 45. So 75% of 60 is 45, which is indeed the discounted price. So we know our answer is 100% correct after we do our little check. So let's look at another example. So this example says, a bicycle was sold for $240 after a 20% discount. What was the marked price? So we see this $240 is the cost of the bicycle after the discount happened. And we see a 20% discount took place. So we have to kind of do a reverse to what we did to find the marked price. So to find the marked price, we know in total we'll have 100% subtract 20%. and that will give us 80%. So to find what was the mark price, we'll take this 80% and we'll put 100 over the 80% because we know 100 will give us the total. So if we put 100 over 80 and we multiply it by the 240, that will reverse what we did to find the original cost of the item. So instead of 20 over 100, we'll do the reverse and we'll take the 80, because after we find the 20%, we'll subtract that 20% and that will give you the discount. So what we'll do, we'll take that 80% that remain and we'll put 100 over that and we will find the mark price. So when we work this out, we'll have this 0 cancel out with this 0. So when we work this out, we'll have 20 into 80 would be 4, 20 divided by 100 would be 5, and 4 once 4, 4 into 24 would be 6, and then 5 times 60 would give me $300. So the mark price would be $300 because what we did the reverse. We know 20% discount. So if we take 20% discount, that means 80% remains. So that 80%, if we put 100 over the 80, that would give us the original price that we started out with. So if you want to check to make sure our answer is correct, remember this, we said that this is the cost before the discount. What we can do, we can find 20% of this and see if we'll get the 240. So this will be 20 over 100 multiplied by 300. When we work this out, we should get 240. So this 0 cancels with that 0. This 0 cancels with that 0. 20 times 3 would give me 60. So this $60 is the discounted price. So to find the cost of the bicycle after the discount would be 300 subtract 60, which would give me 240 indeed. And that is how we find the discounted price, and that is how we check to see if our answer is correct. So what we did at the bottom here, we check. All right, this is how we check. So all we need to do is put the 100 over the amount of percentage that remained after we took out the discount, and you multiply that by the cost, and you multiply that by the selling price, and that would give us the cost of the item before the discount. So let's move on to another example. So the next question says, a bag has a mark price of $75 and a customer gets a $15 discount. What is the discount percentage? So we see the original cost of the bag would be $75 and they get a discount of $15. So to find the discount percentage, it's 15 over the $15, which is the discount price, over 75 multiplied by 100. So we can simply, 15 once 15, 15 divided by 75. 15 once 15, 15 into 75 would be 5. So we're left with 100 divided by 5. So we divide 100 by 5, we'll get 20%. So the discount percentage would be 20%. So of course we can check to see if our answer is correct. So this is the discount percentage. So what we can do, we can find 20% of $75 and see if we'll get 15. So we're checking again. So it's 20 over 100, percentage is always out of 100, multiplied by 75. So this 0 cancels with that 0. 2 ones 2, which would indeed give me $15. So indeed, the discount percentage would be 20. And we double checked our answer by finding 20% of the mark price. And we work it out, we end up with the $15 that was the discount that they got. So the last question says, a customer buys a jacket and a pair of shoes with marked prices of $80 and $120 respectively. $80 and $120 respectively. If a 10% discount is applied to the jacket and a 15% discount to the shoes, what is the total amount the customer pays? So we see we need to find the discount on each item separately. So the first thing, let's look at the jacket. So for the jacket, we see a 10% discount is applied. So this is 10 over 100 multiplied by the cost of the jacket, which would be $80. So we have a lot of zeros that we can cancel out. This zero cancels with that zero. This zero cancels with that zero. So 1 times 8 would give you 8. And the next thing, we want to find the discount on the pair of shoes. So for the pair of shoes, we see 15% of discount is applied to the pair of shoes. This is 15 over 100 multiplied by the cost of the shoe, which is 120. So this zero cancels with that zero. 5 into 15 would give us 3. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So 3 times 12 would give us 36 divided by 2 would give us $18 discount. So to find the amount of money that the customer will pay, so let's go back to the jacket. So we see an $8 discount happens. So the selling price would be $80, subtract the $8, and this would be $72. And for the pair of shoes, the selling price would be $120, subtract the discounted price, which is 18, which would give us $102. So the total amount that the customer will pay would be $72 plus $102, which should be $174. So that would be the total amount that the customer pays. So with that, this has brought us to the end of our discount video. And I trust that you now have a good understanding of discount. I remember for discount, if you need to find the discount on an item and you're given the percentage, you know it's that percentage over 100 multiplied by the marked price. And you work it out, you will get the discount. So to find the selling price, you take that discount that you just calculated and you subtract that from the selling price. And then sometimes you may have to do some amount of reasoning to get your answer. Sometimes you may be given the discounted price and the discount percentage, and you may be asked to find the marked price. In scenarios like that, you take the discount percentage that they give you, you subtract that from 100, and that answer that you get there, you take that and you put 100 over that and you multiply it by the discounted price. And that would kind of reverse the calculation of the discount and give you the original price. And then to check back your answer, you find the percentage of discount of the original price, and that would give you the price that you get after you get the discount. You take that and you subtract, and you should get the discounted price. So you always want to check to make sure your answer is correct. Sometimes these things will just take a little bit of application, and at the end of it, you want to check back by doing something that you already know to make sure your answer is correct. So with that, I will end off this video by saying, I hope to see you in the next one.